Um,
Yeah. Again, this is something I covered in a very quick video this morning on that gameplays. The Ubisoft is kind of, getting wrecked right now. Their stock is collapsing. They've basically taken on the Japan as a culture in this latest game, this new Assassin's Creed Shadows. And a lot of you out there in the audience are familiar with this. Well, today they dropped an apology, but it wasn't really an apology. It was just an insult that was tied to an apology. And, you know, they said, since the announcement of Assassin's Creed, we've received many positive reactions, but also some criticism, including from you, our Japanese players. We share your passion for history and deeply respect your care for the historical and cultural integrity of your rich heritage. We would like to address a few points to clarify our intentions and creative decisions. And they then went into this. We have put significant effort into ensuring an immersive and respectful representation of feudal Japan. Well, they made a lot of mistakes, but maybe they've corrected them. However, our intention has never been to present any of our Assassin's Creed games, including Assassin's Creed Shadows, as factual representations of history or historical characters. Instead, we aim to spark curiosity, encourage players to explore and learn more about historical settings we get inspired by. That is not entirely true, by the way. Continuing on, Assassin's Creed Shadows is first and foremost designed to be an entertaining video game that tells a compelling historical fiction set in feudal Japan. Our team exclusively collaborated with external consultants, historians, researchers, and internal teams at Ubisoft Japan to inform our creative choices. Despite these sustained efforts, we acknowledge that some elements in our promotional materials, that's what they're leaning on, have caused concern within the Japanese community. What do you mean, the whole country? For this, we sincerely apologize. All game footage presented so far is in development, and the game will keep evolving until launch. Based on the constructive criticism we've received, we will continue our efforts until we put this game into your hands and beyond. Okay. Insane. So while we strive for, this is they just they
but it's bollocks because they are so that Ubisoft
yeah.
are trying to shift blame away from the consultants, which is nonsense because they're like, oh, the consultants are in no way responsible for the decisions. Yeah,
Right.
sure, but they influence the
Well,
decision,
the
so
the
they are in
problem
part
is
responsible.
the
Actually,
problem is Ubisoft is was one of the first companies to adopt Sweet Baby Inc. into their consultancies because they're a narrative driver in these issues. Anyway, I'll keep going.
yeah, but they hired a gay pedo loving
Yeah, well,
professor as well. So
that's one of many problems with this game. But while we strive for authenticity in everything we do, Assassin's Creed games are works of fiction. They keep saying this, inspired by real events and figures. From its inception, the series has taken creative license and incorporated fantasy elements to craft engaging and immersive experiences. Then they specifically jump on the Yasuke train and say the representation of Yasuke in our game is an illustration of this. His unique and mysterious life made him an ideal candidate to tell an Assassin's Creed story with the setting of feudal Japan as a backdrop. While Yasuke is depicted as a samurai in the Assassin's Creed Shadows, we acknowledge that this is a matter of debate and discussion. Well, it's been proven by multiple people that that's bologna sausage. Not the samurai they're talking about, but he was basically part of a samurai class as a retainer to Nobunaga. But anyway, I'll keep going. We have woven this carefully into our narrative, and with other lead character, the Japanese shinobi Naoe, who never would have existed, by the way. It's a chick ninja, just so you know, who is equally important in the game. Our dual protagonists, yeah, our dual protagonists provide players with different gameplay styles. We greatly value your feedback and encourage you to continue sharing your thoughts respectfully. No, no,
don't
you
do it
don't get to tell
disrespectfully.
people how they, yeah, exactly. While we understand that meeting everyone's expectations is very difficult, we sincerely hope that when Assassin's Creed Shadows launches on November 15th, actually, you can get it 3 days early. Sorry. You can get it 3 days early on the 12th if you buy one of the 3 top tiers. But players in Japan and around the world will appreciate the dedication, effort, and passion we have poured into it. Yeah. Yeah.
Another game Ubisoft's going to drop that's going to flop.
Yeah, but here's the problem. They had an investor actually ask a question about this game. Yeah. In the process, this thing has been falling like a stone in the last, 5 days? And it's sitting now at 1970. It's not going to do very well. And the sales and bookings for things were just, in general, were 22% lower. When an investor asked them, and I'm not sure if that's in the story or not, but when an investor asked them if the expected sales were in line with pre-sales of previous games, they refused to answer. Because and mind you, we already did a Ubisoft story with Outlaws. This is the same company that's just struggling with all this DEI garbage.
Yeah, so. Yeah, and if you go and look when it really fell off the cliff, it was pretty much after they released the Outlaws trailer.
Yes.
It was the same day. So they dropped that, and then all this controversy with the Assassin's Creed game, and people are like, man, F this company. I'm out. People started selling like crazy because they knew they had basically their 2 biggest games that they're dropping this year are going to be flops. They're going to lose money on both of these games. Guarantee you they're going to lose money on both of them.
All they had to do was not have a black man cutting down Asian people, right? All they had to do, not have a black man chopping down Asian people, just actually have a Japanese samurai. That's all they had to do. That was all they had to do. Or if they were really smart, right, capitalize on the popularity of Shogun and go, here is William Adams, the fictional the real life character that is fictionalized as the Anjin in Shogun. We've put him in our game. You can play as him, the first European samurai.
Yeah, which is who the character Blackthorn
to capitalize on Shogun.
Yeah,
not having chopped down Asian people either, though. Probably not good either. But there's multiple ways they could have gone with it. Preference is to have Japanese samurai, obviously.
Sure. And again, I mean, like you're pointing out, that was Blackthorn in the fictionalized version of that. And
William Adams, a real person.
Yeah,
and aren't they making him gay too in there?
Oh, yeah. Well, he's going to have the ability to do that, sure. And apparently, you're going to have the ability to, or at least observe some really nasty things in there as well. But first and foremost,
sorry.
What?
Assassin's Creed Shadows game allows you to watch homosexual activity.
The ability to romance characters. The ability to romance characters extends to same sex.
But why?
I can't answer that question.
They're trying to be inclusive.
Because
has
the
that
consultant
been anything before?
Well, yes, they've had same sex where it made sense, but not in any of the stuff that I've played recently. So I think in the last 2 games,
I don't remember Assassin's Creed games being
Valhalla
Sims, where you run around and romance people.
Valhalla, they started going woke with Origins, and then it moved into Odyssey, and then it was
a long time since I played.
And then in the most recent one, Valhalla, it went super woke because they had SBI helping them all the way with that one.
Lovely.
So, yeah.
Last one I played was Black Flag. So
yeah, and again, I mean, if you're homosexual, I'm not. That's not the judgment here. It's that you're taking things out of context and you're putting them on a person that really did exist. This is the first time that a playable character is an actual person in these games, right? And they've mischaracterized him in every single way. He was a retainer in the samurai class. He was not a Bushido warrior. He was not a samurai that you would understand. Additionally, they did not have chick ninjas.
No.
There was no such thing as Chick Ninja.
0.
So Shinobi did not have chicks in it like that. It's just infuriating.
I can't believe how bad their stock's gotten. That's hilarious.
Well, and look, I mean, we're going to help it go lower. That's the whole plan now, folks. We just keep driving it lower, and we don't fall for clickbait stories like Kotaku put out today, basically trying to sell hate. That Alyssa Mercante that's all she can do now. As Kotaku is dying, we did a story on that Game Place about Kotaku Australia going out of business. They closed down every single thing from Go Media that they were licensing at this Australian company. They cut them off. So they don't have any of that anymore. It's just all they do is their own stuff now. There is no more Kotaku Australia.
Isn't the US based one supposed to be doing game strategies and game?
They were supposed to switch it up, but then they fired that editor-in-chief. As far as I know, they haven't replaced that person. I think the acting editor now is Alyssa herself, although I could be mistaken. I don't remember. But I know that our friend Stuttering Craig over at Side Scrollers actually applied for the editor-in-chief job at Kotaku.
Oh, Alyssa's blocked me.
Wow.
Why she blocked me on Twitter?
Probably because I referred to her as Mercante. I don't know.
No, she blocked you then? Why she block? I never interacted with her.
Well,
it might have been a mass blockage.
Yeah, she probably got a blockchain list, and you were on it.
Yeah. What's her Twitter?
Alyssa_Merc.
Yeah.
ALY
SSA
_.
Oh, I mean Ubisoft, man. What an absolute crock of shit. Super, super funny.
Well, it's so funny because they were one of the biggest AAA developers out there, and ever since the last 4 Assassin's Creed games, and obviously this last Star Wars game, and before that they started wrecking the Ghost Recon games. What was the last the one that I really used to like? Watch Dogs.
Oh yeah.
When it got to Legion, that one was woke AF, kids. That's right. So no bueno.
Super funny. Well, I think there's not much else really to be said for that. I mean, having to apologize, I think you've kind of screwed up really as a fundamental level as a company. If you've got to apologize to a country, but not apologize as well.
That apology was directed at Japan, but they released it in English. Not only that apology appeared in different regions with different verbiage or translations.
That's funny.
So they're really they are not good people. And again, I mean, they let the wolves in the door. Sorry, I'm just frustrated about this one.
And also on that call when they asked about delaying the Star Wars Outlaws game because it was getting so much backlash, they said nope, we're not delaying it. We're going to release it how it is.
They can't afford to.
No,
they're getting destroyed. They've spent some retarded amount of money, like $700 million, on like 2 AAA games. They cannot hit the pause button.
And I don't know if you guys knew this, but the marketing campaign they're putting out on Outlaws is the most they've spent on marketing for any game in the history of the company.
What? Wow.
Yeah.
Why would you do that for Star Wars?
They're in red territory, and the investors are asking questions, and they are not answering them. We can win this. We can beat business back into good sense, which will beat everybody else back.
They'll be destroyed, but that's the point, I guess, to a degree.
Yeah.
Wow.
Terrible,
well,
terrible company.
Let's move on from that.
You do not want to be Heiner-scheided.
No.